The ministry's budget, first of all, Madam Chair Lady, it should be noted, would cut by 5 million guilders. I think we need to think seriously about that. It is the biggest budget of government, has always been, and I think justifiably so, and has been told, and you get all the complaints in and out of what is lacking still. And here we are able to cut 5 million guilders. Zogenaamd easily. We see the minister taking a 10% cut in salary, kudos to him. Yet, as some other members have mentioned here, a huge increase in rechts- en deskundig advies to the minister. Consultancy fees of 1 million guilders. That's on the budget. You can't do me like this. That's what we see. I need a clear explanation as to why such fees are needed by the minister, whilst we can afford to cut half of that from youth programs. What exactly are these consultancy fees for third parties for? And I really need to understand what that means. And I think the people of St. Martin, when they hear about this big budget cut of salaries, it amounts to 24,400 guilders over the whole year, divided by 12. That's brutal. So let's not get too impressed by that. The cabinet of the minister also saw an increase of 100,000 guilders. I would like to understand why. Staff bureau, there's a line item I've never seen before. Bezoldigings, vacatures in 400,000, an increase of 400,000. Ministry of ECYS. Education, Culture, Youth and Sport. So I'm going a little specific into this ministry, which is very, very close to my heart and which I know very well. So the Bezoldigings vacatures is something I've never seen before, and that is from nothing to 400,000 guilders. What is this intended for? Where did that come from? Did you move it from somewhere else? Department of Education personnel budget was cut by 467,000 guilders. Was this part of what the minister termed the fictitious employees that we could not be able to hire? Or is this for much needed personnel to be able to execute the much needed changes in education reform that have already been, some of them I'm sure, interviewed, etc.? While some, remained at their budget, I see that nothing has been put there to finalize policies to regulate and reduce the amount for school busing. I remember being dragged over the coals in the media, etc., for trying to reduce this budget. And everybody, after they saw the details of where this budget was going, agreed that it had to be reduced. The Education Ministry did what they had to do policy-wise, do the LBHAM and whatnot, but was waiting on collaboration with Ministry of TIAT, and that was still missing up to when I left a year ago and 2 months. And 2 budgets later, 4.5 million guilders still for school busing, for which we know we are overpaying. It seems that some governments are not ready to make the necessary cost-cutting measures where they belong. That is alarming to me, Madam Chair Lady. What effect does the cut in education reform by 600,000 guilders have on the execution of policy and programs intended to bring much-needed improvements in education in this current millennium? I see a cut also in subsidies to schools and school boards, specifically the SVOBA, the FAVE, the Catholic schools, and even The changes in subsidy to USM requires much explanation, Madam Chair Lady. There was talk back then, when I was there for 2 years and change, of a financial policy for education, culture, youth, and sports, or financial division, a change in the whole upstelling of the ministry, because so much monies are being subsidized out to these entities that you need a better check and balance, that we cannot rely on the Department of Finance for this, and or constantly be calling in SOAB to do individual checks here and there. You needed some entities to be able to monitor the large sums of funds, rightfully so, leaving government's coffers to school boards specifically. What are the plans from this government pertaining to that policy?
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
Who is watching the watcher to determine if the scales used by the justice are correct? For example, that drugs or confiscated items are properly weighed. As previously mentioned, the calibration of scales for customs and the police is done upon their request. The question of the Honourable MP is a valid one. However, what the equipment policy and procedures are for these entities is not known. This has been taken up with the Minister of Justice for further handling. For example, the Inspectorate of TIAT was recently requested by the Collective Prevention Services to calibrate their scales. Is there a maximum price of bread and the weight of the bread? Yes. Prijzen besluit voor brood. AB 2013, number 124. Sliced bread, 500 grams, 2 guilders. Sliced 625 grams is 2 guilders 50. And long white bread, 500 grams, is 1.80, so a guilder and 80 cents. When was this enforced or checked? When last was this enforced or checked? This was last checked this morning and is checked monthly. Simply, but this is not by coincidence, but a regular routine as well. Casino controllers were used in other functions due to the closing of casinos. He understands that some are doing calibration work. The MP, do they have the relevant besluit or decree, and compensation clarity is requested. The function of any controller under the Ministry of TIAT is generic. All controllers under the respective sections, Inspectorate TIAT, fall under Controller B. This includes inspecting of businesses, animals, goods, and services. The relevant training is then needed when the casino controllers, which the casino controllers have executed. This department is designated by law to carry out calibrations, hence the reason why a separate department is not needed. The Inspectorate of TIAT has qualified personnel already executing this responsibility. How many permits were issued to import and export animals in 2017 and 2018, and how much collected in revenue from these permits? In 2017, there were 1,101 permits issued to import animals and 12 permits to export animals. In 2018, there were 1,132 permits issued to import animals and 23 to export animals. No revenue is collected for this service, but this has been taken up in the draft amendment to the fees ordinance, which is being finalized by the ministry. Tourist office website was down. Who deals with the website? Local or foreign company? What's the name of the company? Was the proper bidding process followed? If this isn't a local company, would like to highlight the fact that when we do these things, we give away the opportunity to boost our economy by hiring local firms and companies. Is there a policy regarding this? If not, what is your personal opinion on this? The website is back to life. Government of St. Martin and the Tourist Bureau owns the website domains and has the login information. The St. Martin government, through the tourist office, is in full possession of the information, and the website being www.vacationstmartin.com is live at the moment, and it has been decided according to the French-Dutch MOU between the two respective tourist offices signed on February 2018 that a common multilingual website will be developed. The branding will be the two logos and a common domain will be chosen. Public tendering will be public and published. The tendering will be open to national and international companies. The Ministry of TIAT and STB is very aware of local institutions that are able to execute the task. If the local institution meets the criteria and presents the best proposal, then that local company will be chosen. There will be a committee comprising of Dutch and French side tourist office officials and the ministry. A landing page is being finalized to give the website visitor more recent updates and linking the landing page of our website to our Facebook social media pages. Our gas stations, gas pumps sealed? No, these pumps are no longer sealed due to the upgrade in gasoline pump systems. Currently, most of these pump systems are now digital. However, as a result of this, the Ministry of TIAT has increased the amount of random controls and checks executed on gasoline stations and pumps. Additional enforcement strategies are also now currently being discussed with the relevant specialists in this area, and once finalized, we will be able to inform the House of Parliament. Who controls GEBE and water meters? Is this the same inspectors that carry out calibration? If not, then who? Firstly, given the sheer number of water and electricity meters that the GEB company has in operation, it is simply not possible to physically check all of them in any reasonable time frame. Either for this, the objective when talking about controlling of meters. The purpose of providing calibration services in this case is to provide an independent, competent authority who will and can intervene between the consumer and the provider of the purchased offered services, for example, GEBE, and give a qualified opinion based on the certified equipment readings. If there is a billing discrepancy, which can be attributed to a meter over and under billing, the meter can then be taken out of service and independently tested according to the manufacturer's specifications to determine whether it is functioning properly. This service cannot and should not be conducted by the provider itself in order to protect both the consumers and the provider's interests. The follow-up training to conduct these type of tests will be done in June of this year in the Netherlands, after which the equipment to test water and electricity meters will need to be purchased.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact Wib today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Then we have some of our pageants. Our pageants will be going on, in and out. Please pay attention to that, because if you're into the pageants, there are several different, the whole event is broken up into different parts. So you can go and you can catch the one that you most want to see, and maybe a few others. And the Golden Balloon Around Town Jump Up is about to happen. So come through, get your own golden balloons. Come to the jam. We're going to have a really nice jump up all around town, running around Front Street till we end in the government parking lot, where we'll have a little Road to Carnival street party. Come out, that's going to be a lot of fun. Next day, we're doing the flashback Road to Carnival party. Last year, we added a few new promoters to our Road to Carnival series, and one of them was the 3721 group. And they will be holding flashback. And you know what flashback is? It's old school. It's strictly old school. So strictly old school, we're going to have two bands that are going to be playing there. Do you know? Can you guess? Youth Waves featuring Double Deuce. And then we have Explosion featuring Remo. And still for a little extra pizzazz to it, we're going to have the Enough Respect Band. So look out for that. That's going to be on Saturday, April 6th. The Flashback RTC Jam by 3721 Entertainment. And that will be under the tent, Port de Plaisance. Look out for that. The next day on Sunday, we are going to have the Survivors Children Balloon Jump Up. That's going to come down to Pondville, as you know. This is really great. Get some balloons, come out with the kids. Let's have a good time. I think they're celebrating over 20 years this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So on Saturday the 13th, the SCDF is holding our 50th anniversary gala recognitions and honoree event. This is not a public event, but we'll do our best to stream it to the public. But in the meantime, what this event is about is for us to really pay homage on this great milestone to people who have been very iconic to Carnival from the get-go. It will be an invited event. Everybody, all the invitees and honorees already know who they are, and we expect them to come out with their families as we show major appreciation for what Carnival has been and what it has come to this time. Then we open the village on Saturday, the 20th of April. We're going to start there with our opening jump up. Meet me at MPC. All the trucks will be there at 8 o'clock. We're going to move off. And from there, go straight down the LB Scott Road, turn around, go to the Bush Road, and right into the village where we will have a grand opening of Carnival 50. You're all invited. It's a free event. Come out. If you can't make it to the jump up, meet you in the village. Let's have a grand time as we kick off our 50th anniversary Carnival. Next day, we jump right into the family fun day and the village cook-up. Come out with the whole family. Doors open at 11 a.m. We're going to have bouncy castles for the kids. We're going to have water things. We're going to have clowns. We're going to have all types of great entertainment, not to mention the greatest food in the world in our carnival village. We have all our booths rearing and ready to go for you and your family. Come out that day and support. It's going to be a great day. Then we jump the next day into the Nagico Senior Calypso Finals. It's been a year for Calypso. It's one of the greatest milestone years we have had in Calypso. Come out, we have some new faces, we have some old faces, and we're going to have a great time. And that is brought to you by the good people at Nagico, who has been one of our most loyal sponsors since they ever started. Thank you to them, and always thank you to them for the great work they do for Carnival.
In my opinion, everything is perfect and you would be great for the job. But I see here that there's a 2-year gap in your resume. What did you do?
I was hospitalized for mental illness.
Oh, mental illness?
I've undergone treatment and I have a wonderful family that supports me.
Well, that is good news.
No, it's fine. I'm recovered.
We'll contact you, okay?
For a better understanding of mental health and what you can do to stop mental health stigma, please go to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
The distribution of the materials through the Ministry of Romy and Veyesa is nearing completion, whereas 23 residents who applied for assistance has been assisted thus far. The residents provided the labor, and government assisted with the building materials that were donated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The building materials were provided to the residents in phases who were responsible for the labor works, and this project has proven to be successful with good cooperation between government and the various beneficiaries. The project is expected to be closed off within the coming weeks. Next, the upgrading of the Dutch Quarter sewerage, the 10th EDF sewerage project, is presently undergoing with the implementation of sewage lines, paved roads, street lights, and sidewalks. There has been some challenges with the private land ownerships, but the Ministry of Romy is busy looking into resolving these matters. The project is expected to be completed nearing the end of this year, and as a general contractor, Van Boekel is pushing very hard to make sure that the inconveniences to the residents is minimized as much as possible as the project progresses. As Minister of Romy, I would like to thank the residents and visitors that are making use of this road for their cooperation and understanding with the inconvenience that comes along with the execution of this project. In the end, it will all be worthwhile, and it's in the better interest for the community and the residents and visitors of Dutch Quarter.
For some time now, we have not noticed road markings. What has been done to address that issue? And the traffic light has not been functioning for a long time now. Anything been done to ensure that it's back to working orders?
Yes. Thank you for the question, Mr. Cyrillian. The ministry is right now preparing both advices for the road markings and stoplights. I could tell you that the issue with the stoplights is that before the hurricane, there were stoplights installed, but they were not according to the standards for the Dutch laws.
that we carry here on St. Martin. So we had to make sure that we have the proper lighting now installed. So that's why it's been taking such a long time. And with the road markings, we're trying to make sure that all the roads are properly patched before we put any markings on the streets.
Mr. Brown, of course, for the Ministry of TIAT, we are always excited to see things that will stimulate our economy. Room inventory is of paramount importance. It's closely being monitored by the ministry itself, of course. Resorts such as Sonesta Maho coming on board is an added plus right now at this time. Even for the upcoming carnival season, room inventory has been a question in terms of where we're going to accommodate certain persons. That's why early bookings have already started for many of the conferences that are yet to come, such as PAMAC, the Gaming Control Board, as well as the conference that we're having for aviation. So those are things that are going to be an ongoing process. Reason why, as a nation, we still have to continue to be cognizant of the fact that this is part of the rebuilding process. And St. Martin, of course, has an added value by having Airbnb, which is other accommodations. There's about 300 properties that when you go on the website, you see listed. So the Tourist Bureau is busy finalizing that list, that we have that list finalized. Of course, it's at the Ministry of Finance for the finalization of that MOU. So hopefully within short, with support of the Ministry of TIAT, we can have that ratified to further bolster the number of hotel room inventories that we have. But besides that, of course, St. Martin's room inventory is also dependent on villas as well as other turnkey rentals that are available. So room inventory is going to be a discussion point, but the Ministry of TIAT is closely monitoring it, and we applaud all efforts and support all efforts to have hotel rooms open, new properties opened, and new resorts reopened at this time in our country's reconstruction phase.